Okay, so I had to show the video in another angle, to show how the knife looks in my pocket and stuff, and just compare it to other knives. So I don't know if I'm gonna put it together with this one or if I'm gonna keep it on by itself. I might keep it by itself. So okay, now the reason I have this is the knife I wore. So I I basically EDC'd or carried for like 2 weeks, and this is like a brand new one of it, and this is a brand new one of it, and they're all CTS XHP. Um, so so the reason I have this one is just to show you the sharpening, how the sharpening turned out. Basically, I'm going to compare it to this one. I mean this other one. So my sharpening. Um, so I was able to polish it. I had to like reprofile it, and I ended up going all the way to 3,000 grit to do it. I was gonna stop at 1,500, but I just it wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. So so in comparison to the original factory one, um, if you look at the secondary bevel, so here where the little spot goes into another angle, it's much smaller than mine. So I basically got rid of that. I I made mine about like 2 millimeters wide, and this one's about a millimeter. So here it is again. And this blade had a bunch of scratches already, so um and just to show the comparison on sharpness. So cold steel is always like crazy sharp whenever they give you a knife. I mean, whenever they sell you a knife, it's always like crazy sharp. Okay, and here's comparison to the one I did. So let's get that in camera. Whoop. So this one, and I don't want to sound biased. The one I did kind of seems to glide through the paper a little bit easier, and it's just paper, I know. But I think the only difference is that if you get a knife from Cold Steel, it is crazy sharp. But you can see if you look real close at the secondary bevel, you can see the grind marks, and this is basically like polished. So I think that's maybe the difference, that the reason why this seems to go through paper a little bit easier. So I'm gonna talk about just in comparison to this a little bit, and so well, first of all, before I talk about my experience just carrying this, I would get this. If you want an Espada XL, I would definitely like 100% get this one, because this one is just, I mean, it's pretty plain. It's more inconspicuous. It's all black. It's dark. Except on the new ones, the Oz 10A, this is a satin finish, so it's basically like, steel. It's like a same, it's like a metal color or whatever. So it's not black. So it's just satin finished. And so but it's just plain. It is what it is, basically. It's what it's for. It has steel liners, and that's the difference from this one. And it has G10 handles, and basically the liners just go up to here, and then from there on it's an aluminum spacer, and just G10 from there on. So the CTS XHP version is all blacked out. This one though, the reason I recommend this one is because it's like a little piece of art. I mean, a big piece of art. So and there's a lot of little details, like see where the G10 meets the aluminum. It's at an angle. They didn't just put it in there flat. And then the G10 itself, it's layered, so then it looks like a pseudo kind of wood. And there's a lot of little things that the way this is rounded too. This is all just flat, and this has contours. It's rounded on this edge. It's rounded on the sides. They both weigh about the same, and but it just feels more comfortable. It just feels more premium. This feels just more well made. It's more aesthetically pleasing. That's just my opinion. It's just my general recommendation. So I'll put that aside. So I personally wouldn't carry this. I wanted to carry it. I was just curious on just carrying it and see what happens. And it's just kind of awkward. Physically, it's this part when you sit down, at least with my pants, this'll stick out, and it touched my it just kept touching my my seatbelt, so it would stick out and just touch the seatbelt on whenever I drove anywhere. And then when you sit down, you have to you have to adjust it to the side since it's so big. And then when you stand up and stuff, it's if you push it forward like I did in the other video, it's more comfortable than having it straight in the back. So physically it's awkward, but socially too, it's kind of a little bit awkward. And I mean, this part is just completely me. So when I was wearing it, like, people would stare at it every now and then. Most of the time, no. I mean, most of the time, like, I would have it out and stuff, but it is shiny. And every now and then, people would see it and like stare at it. And I only had one person ask me if it was a knife. And it's somebody I've seen before. Like, I see him every now and then. He sells stuff at a flea market, and he told me he was a knife guy. And I waved it out, and he was like kind of like, whoa. So yeah, it's a huge knife. It's like unexpectedly huge. So, but with that aside, I mean, I wouldn't EDC this. And it's super well made. It feels solid, even when I was like sharpening it. When I sharpen something that has that like it's a folding knife, I tend to like just put my thumb on the blade and sharpen it, because I don't want to like mess up this connection here, this part where it folds. I don't want to put too much force there, like a lever. But this one just felt solid. I mean, I did it for a while just to see how it felt, and it just felt completely solid. Just holding it here and then sharpening it. And most of all, basically, like the main reason, I mean, for what it's made for, it excels, I think. And this is another point I wanted to make. So I have other knives to make this point too. This is a 17-inch knife, open. And closed, it's a 9 3/4 inch knife. So this is what I carry for work. And I mean, people who've seen my videos have seen this one. And this is a 7-inch blade, and this is a 7.5-inch blade. So we have here a 7-inch blade and a 7.5-inch blade. And then here's a basically 7-inch blade again. And this is a It's a Gerber Mark II. I thought of bringing out something that's kind of that's that people can get their hands on or might have and stuff like that, so they can just compare it. So and then there's a point to this. All right, here's this is a 9-inch blade. All right, so 9-inch blade, and then here's it's a 4.5-inch handle. All right, so the point is, you can get a blade that's bigger and have an overall smaller package. But when it comes to self-defense, I like having knives that you can use as self-defense. But to me, it's not like my number one priority. But if it is your number one priority, so this makes sense right here. So because for self-defense, that's why people have swords instead of daggers when they use edged weapons for self-defense. It's because reach has a lot to do with winning. Spears are better than swords when it comes to self-defense. So reach is basically it's a big multiplier when it comes to that kind of stuff. So even though this has a 7.5-inch blade, and you can get a bigger blade on a smaller package, the blade isn't what the point. Basically, it's the reach when it comes to self-defense. So here's the Armok I have, and this is a 6.5-inch reach. So even this, and this has an 11-inch blade. So even this is smaller than this. And the point I'm making here is so this folds. That's the main point. So it folds. So overall, it is a smaller package. This is a 9 3/4 folded, and open. It's bigger than this. It has more reach than even this. And if you want to carry this, it's like huge. It's like I can carry this, even though it looks crazy. I don't want to say crazy, even though it looks weird. It's like weird, like wearing 2 watches. Weird. Like if you wore a watch on each wrist, kind of weird, I guess. That kind of weird. So even though this looks kind of weird, this would look even more weird, more socially unacceptable, having like this kind of knife around. But you can wear this, and you'll have more reach than this knife. So you'll have something more socially acceptable, more compact, not as strong as this, but stronger than whatever you would need, basically, because these are crazy strong, very well made, like very nice lockup, everything. So that's my general opinion. If you have any questions, like, or if you want me to compare it to something, let me know. And then I always read all my all the comments everybody makes, and if somebody makes comments, I'll read them. I always comment too. So I mean, mostly always if it's like a question. So yeah, hopefully this kind of makes sense. Hopefully I didn't like. Oh yeah, well, if you wear, I didn't think about this. If you wear two watches, it's I mean it's weird to me, but whatever. It's like, who cares? Okay, all right, bye.